Hello, David. Oh my goodness. So welcome to everyone here. I'm so excited to see everybody. I think everybody is tired of being in the house. Yeah, tired of being in the house. But oh, thank you. David's the guy keeping me straight, you see. So, unfortunately, right now we don't have anybody else on Zoom except for David. Keep watching that, David, because we need to take some good notes. Okay, is this better? Okay, now that's all recorded and everything's fine. So anyway, I'm so excited to see everybody here. Like I said, we've been away from seeing everybody getting together too long. Thank you so much for the turnout. Like I said, it's our intent to continue doing this and to try to improve the Zoom capability too, for those people who don't feel comfortable for whatever reason with getting out yet. Or we have had some members in the past where because of the time we meet, by the time we get through, it's dark and they just don't want to drive at dark. And I sure understand that. But anyway, so we're going to try to see if we can improve on this and get it good enough so that they enjoy basically participating in the meeting. So I guess with that, I'd like to call the meeting to order. And Chaplain Babs, would you give us our invocation, please?
Father, I ask you, O Lord, that you direct us in all our doings this evening with your most gracious favor. Further us with your continued help, that all our works be done continue and ended in you, especially the program activities of the Sons of the Revolution. We glorify your holy name and find it by your mercy and everlasting life through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you. Okay, so Patriot McCraw, would you lead us in the pledge to the flag?
Yes, sir. Yeah, please join me in the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Patriot warriors, would you lead us in the pledge to the Texas flag, please? Yes, sir.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
And Pete, would you lead us in the pledge to the ST?
Please join me in the pledge to the STR flag. We,
the descendants of the heroes of the American Revolution, who by their sacrifices established the United States of America, reaffirm our faith in the principles of liberty and our constitutional republic, and solemnly pledge ourselves to defend them against every foe.
Okay, thank you. You may be seated. Okay, so we weren't doing this too much on Zoom, but we're going to start doing it again now. So we're going to go around and let's do self-introductions. Basically your name and just a word or two about yourself, like where you live, or that sort of thing. So I'll start with you.
Okay, my name is Terry Barnett. I'm from Frisco, and this is my first meeting.
I said,
Ken Davis. I live in Frisco as well, and I'm very glad to be back in person.
okay.
Bill Taylor, my wife Carol, she next to me here in McKinney.
I'm Ralph Thompson. I'm the treasurer of this organization. I prepared you and so here.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep. I'm living in Fairview. I'm sure you have. Okay. Glad to have you.
I'm Don Babb, ex-McKinney resident. But I still don't listen to the same one. But anyway, I'm a member of Sherman. That's now I'm a little member here. Chaplain of that organization, chaplain this. And I remember the color guard. guess that's about it.
Thanks, Don.
My name is Ed Beal. It's my first meeting. I live in Plano, work in McKinney. This is my wife, Janet.
Dave Kinsey, past president here, state treasurer, we over in investment. Clay Kansas, registrar.
I live in Toledo, and I remember the Denton shop.
E.L. Holden, member of Edmund Carroll after the term.
Ted Wilson, the district vice president of Netherlands, and president of Edmund Carroll, and the assistant president over in investment collective Warren.
Okay.
Former Collin.
Ed does a lot of
Tom
things.
in Boston Dallas chapter. I'm also a full member of the McKinney chapter and president of the Dallas chapter.
Mark Harrison, Dallas chapter vice president, and I'm the state oration here.
George Bradford. McKinney chapter.
I'm sorry, Bob Noe, elementary meetings.
Hold on.
My first in-person meetings.
It's in the mail. The guy in the back corner tells me it's in the mail. I should get it any day. I'll let you know as soon as I get it.
Bill Hurt, registrar, and for Pringle, Ambassador Collector Warren, Paris, probably coming up soon. Past state and new. As of today, I've been asked to be a new registrar for the New River Valley chapter in Bradford, Virginia.
So they know you in Bradford, Virginia. We'll talk about that. Go while you there, you were go.
I'm Ray Hargis, Secretary of Edmund Carroll and Sherman. And, my wife Linda, we're glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Hey.
Linda Craw, I'm living with Melissa currently, and I'm brother this guy right here.
And I'm Mark Crowley at McKinney, and my claim to fame is that I'm his little brother.
I'm Pete McClellan. I'm from McKinney, past president of the chapter and currently the sergeant at arms, so watch what you're doing.
That's right.
And so I'm Paul Hendricks. I'm going to be your speaker. You'll know me quite well in a minute.
Okay, great. Joe?
Joe Chimmerleth, live in Allen.
I'm Nathan White, former president general. My wife Wanda, we live here in McKinney, and Weldon is going to be inducted tonight as our newest member.
Weldon?
I'm Weldon Copeland. I guess that makes me a guest for now. From Fairview.
So the interesting part about these two is I think they work some together every once in a while. But really the interesting part is how long it has taken Nathan to get Weldon into this organization. I don't think it's as, I'm almost saying it goes back to when you inducted me, but I don't think it was quite that long, but it's been at least a little while, right?
It took us 2 years to get a birth certificate change.
From the state of Texas.
Well, that's an interesting story.
You do anybody to enforce it.
What the courts is the Department of Violence.
Oh, goodness. Go ahead.
Juarez, I live here in McKinney and I'm the vice president of awards.
Okay, and the gentleman here in front of you. Yeah.
Chris Gold with the Key Police Department.
Okay, and we'll hear more about him in a minute. Okay.
I'm Robert Powell, from Plano, that included McKinney a couple of years ago, transferred in from the Gulf Passage.
There you go. You, sir.
I'm Lieutenant Randall Meyer, with the Police Department, and I'm here in support of Chris for his awards.
Okay, great. Well, this is, and I already introduced myself, so that's, okay. Okay, so that's good. Let's see here. So I think we go along and with some of our business. I'll try to keep this to a minimum. Basically, since we had our last meeting, the 126th annual Texas SAR convention was held. It was held via Zoom, and oh gosh, we had right around 100 people, I guess, as I recall, 90 or 100 people on Zoom. So it got a good turnout. Went one evening and all the next day. And so our chapter, I'm gonna first, before I get this far, if I let somebody else, I want to apologize in advance. If I let somebody else, I'm expecting the other chapters to help me remember. Okay, so basically for our chapter, we got the Colonel Joe M. Hill Patriot Award, and I believe that's for contributions, right, David?
Right.
Right, okay. We got the Texas SAR Flag Presentation Award, so that's okay. And we got the Public Service Award, and that basically is the award, one of which you're going to see here tonight. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 awards that we do to basically various people that support basically our cities, counties, etc. And we'll see one tonight, but there were 4 others, and I won't go through them in the interest of time. But that's another thing we do. We try to honor, you know, our first responders, the various people that watch out for us every day. So, and you'll hear a little bit more about that in a few minutes. Okay, so that's what I had. David, did I miss anybody? Anything for the chapter? Does that seem about right?
I think we had one other one, but I think that's pretty good.
Okay, well, I apologize for that. Okay, here's the one where I'm really going to mess up. Okay, so this is the one for the chapter members. That one was for the chapter. For the chapter members, basically we have a Silver Meritorious Service Award to, I want applause here, David Kinsey. Okay, he's shaking his head. Okay, so and then to a dual member here, Bill Hurst, we got the Silver Roger Sherman Award. Bill. For some of our new members in here, you might notice on Bill's ribbon he's wearing, you see all those stars on that ribbon? Okay, so that's all the patriots he has found and gotten through the system, which is extremely laborious. Now, the hidden factor, unless you get closer to that, is each one of those stars count for 5 patriots. 10 patriots.
These are
I know they are. I know they are. I'm teasing you. So you're up to, you're trying to get the 50th one through.
48.
48.
3 or 4.
Okay. He's fixing to. So thank you, Mary. That's the basically the 2 things I know of. David, do you remember anything else or at the chapter level members? Okay, great. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to point out to you guys, the Texas SAR website on the private side, you have to have a password to get in. Okay, that's gotten changed just through some problems they had. So if any of you that want to find out, need to use that password, if you'll just get in contact with me, okay, either, yes, I got it on my phone. So I can give it to you right here. You can write it down after the meeting, or you can send me an email, respond to the message and said, I need the password. And if you don't have the name, I can give you the basic username and the password. So just an FYI. Okay, so the chapter submitted an entry to the Americanization Youth Poster Contest. Okay, and we found out on Saturday that that person won first place at state. So anyway, and so the next thing I have to tell you, he is a junior member of our chapter. And then the third thing, although I had nothing to do with this, I was judged by the others, he's my grandson. So, so I opened it to everybody, but I had a little more control over him. So, you know, after he kept saying, Uncle,
Are we gonna
Grant me, grant me.
post it?
I'll bring you a picture, or I've got a picture, yeah. So, but it's going to national now. So anyway, so we'll see what happens there. Okay, let's see here. What else we got? Our next meeting is going to be on June the 17th. Basically, you know, unless something goes terribly wrong and the executive committee decides that it's not the proper thing to do, we're going to have it again right here. It's the third Thursday of each month. Just put that on your calendar. Okay. Sometimes at Christmas time, we do something a little bit different depending on the season. But anyway, put it on your calendar. You're welcome. The ones that are just working on trying to get your paperwork all in and everything, whoever, you know, anyway, we consider you're welcome as a guest anytime. So I want to make sure you understand that. Then I think, let's see here. I got anything else? Okay. I think that's about it. Okay, new business. We have a new member induction. Confederate White, would you like to come up and make the presentation?
Sure will.
First of all, it is good to see everybody. This is a great turnout. This first time we've been able to meet in person in less a year, and that's fantastic that we are able now to do so. Well, and if you'll come up here, mention was made earlier about the length of time it took to get Weldon's application processed. Just to show you how things can go about, can go wrong. Weldon has a grandson that is now a junior member of our chapter, has yet to be inducted. I have a grandson, is a member, junior member, yet to be inducted. But in processing Weldon's grandson, it was found that Weldon's daughter's birth certificate had her mother, and they misspelled her maiden name. Consequently, this one was not going to be able to be processed at national. He's had a erroneous maiden name. And so Weldon applied to the state of Texas for a revised birth certificate for his daughter. And we had the proof and everything. And it literally took over a year to get that processed through the State Department of Vital Statistics. And so that's why we delayed all of them, because of his grandson's application wanted to come in at the same time and so forth. All right, Weldon, Weldon's been an elected official in our county, actually the county court of law and then probate judge for over 30 years now. And so he's had occasion to be sworn in on a number of occasions. I once swore in George Herbert Walker Bush into the SAR, and I said, Mr. President, I know you've been sworn in to many things in your life, but this time it's the Sons of the American Revolution. So, compatriot Copeland, do you, as a member of the Son of the Patriot, as a descendant of one of the patriots and heroes of the American Revolution, reaffirm your ancestors' faith in the principles of liberty and our constitutional government?
I do.
And will you pledge to support the National Society Sons of the American Revolution, the Texas Society Sons of the American Revolution, and the McKinney Chapter Sons of the American Revolution?
I will.
It gives me great pleasure in presenting your membership certificate. Now, get the appropriate photographs here. Proof.
Look over here. Me first. There you go. And then smile at Wanda. I know you.
Now, Tom Green, known to many of you who have been active in the Texas Society for a number of years, when asked about the average age of a member of the Sons of the American Revolution in Texas, he said it's deceased. Yesterday, we had Weldon's 70th birthday, so
Oh,
he's not,
congratulations.
he's not deceased, but he's well over the middle age. Now, it gives me great pleasure to present your membership certificate, which I just done, and also give you the official rosette, the emblem of our society. The colors are blue and buff, the colors of George Washington's uniform.
Pose that again.
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go. We got it.
We welcome you into the McKinney chapter and ask that you work with the rest of us to make people aware of the sacrifices that our ancestors made in establishing the United States. Now, I know that you don't know much about your patriot ancestors because I've helped you prepare the papers. And he's come in on an aunt that was a member of the DAR. But Weldon comes in for membership by right of bloodline descent from Lafford French, Lafford French, who was a private in the South Carolina Revolutionary militia or army, and patriot Lafford French obtained a pension for his service in the American Revolution. So one of these days we'll have Weldon work up something about his ancestor and present it to us. I'm not going to put him on the spot tonight about that.
I was just gonna tell Nathan that he may have started out as a private, but he ended up as a general.
What is this, posthumously?
With each generation, you got a promotion.
All right.
That's good. So we're hoping to do a lot more of those. We've got 2 right now that are in the mail. Okay, so anyway, so hope next time I think we're gonna be good. Okay, so let's see here. Next, Louis, would you like to come up and make our law enforcement commendation presentation?
Good evening, everyone. Tonight we have Officer Copeland, or Golden, excuse me, who is here, who is receiving our this, receiving the Law Enforcement Commendation Medal. And for that, I will read to you a little bio on what Officer Golden has done, what he did to achieve this award. Officer Golden located a vehicle reported by Louisville PD of a suicide subject armed with a machete. It was intended, though, that the subject's mother and or girlfriend may be in the vehicle with him. Officer tried to stop the vehicle in El Dorado, west of Highway 5, stopping, briefly refusing to exit the vehicle while brandishing a large machete out of the side window. The subject pulled forward, driving west on El Dorado, approaching Malvern Elementary School. The school was within minutes of dismissal. The car in parked up line could not be seen, couldn't be seen ahead on El Dorado. Officer Golden assigned SRO over 10 elementary schools. Golden being one of them, knew the dismissal schedule of the school. Officer Golden took an aggressive approach using his police unit to cut off the block and block the subject while from getting any closer to the school and children being let out. The subject was ultimately arrested and transported for a medical assessment without further incident. So we thank you. We thank you, and this is what this is all about.
It is. Thank you. Okay, question.
The certificate we have for you.
All right. Let me look over here. Wait. I got it.
Thank you.
And we also have also have a medal for you.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice. Very nice. Very honored. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does he? Let's get him up here.
Come on up. First story.
But the rest of the story. So you want me to tell some stories about Chris?
The rest of the story.
Let's hear the rest of the
So all I will say is that we're very proud of Chris. And so for those of you who don't know much about police work, everything we do is pretty fixated on tactics and training and stuff that it's like second nature when you go through it. So what Chris did that day was really unorthodox for what we're accustomed to. The other officers that were there were following what we would say is protocol, doing a high-risk stop, taking safety measures, and trying to contact the subject. So what Chris did, thinking outside the box and actually cutting the person off and doing that tactic was completely abnormal to what many of the officers would be accustomed to. But his quick thinking and realizing what was up the road and with the children, and obviously him being a school resource officer was aware of that. So being just a good team with other officers, they kind of folded around it. We made it work. And that's the beautiful thing about it is that officers, they're acting within the scope of trying to keep a lot of people safe. In this particular incident was the children that were getting out of school. Chris had a very fast thought process and the other officers followed it and it worked out great, even including the person who was contemplating suicide. So it was a win-win. It was a great day and it was due to Chris's, he's humble, but it was to his quick thinking that did that. So congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks. As one who has a grandson over in Edmonds Elementary here, thank you so much for what you do for our kids. I've actually got to know a little bit the lady that was over there for several years. It's marvelous the things you do with our kids. So thank you so much and keep up the good work. Thank you both. And we really appreciate you both for all you do. Okay, so let's see here. I think, unless I have missed something, I think we're just about got that done. We got that done. Okay, so, oh, sure. Thank you both for coming. Again, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, I have a state level award that came to me. So Nathan, would you step up here, please? As you let you see it. So as some or most of you know, Nathan is a former, I get this right, President General, which for our new guys means he was the guy over everything at the national level. Okay. And we were so thankful when he came back, and our chapter here was a little bit anemic, I think, probably to say the least, maybe some words like that, right? But anyway, so Nathan basically helped breathe the life back into this chapter and made it what it is today. So, but this has nothing to do with that. I just wanted to say that just to see if I could get him wondering a little bit. So this is a certificate, of appreciation in recognition of his outstanding service and support to the Texas Society of the Sons of the American Revolution as the chairman of the audit committee. Okay, and it's signed again by our Texas president, Drake Petty, and also signed by the secretary of the chapter. So
Thank you very much.
thank you. Could you send me that one?
Oh,
I
yes.
want
Yeah.
to. Thank you so much, Nathan.
Thank you.
Okay. So I think that we are down to Mark. I think it's your turn to get up and do your.
Our speaker tonight is Paul Hendricks. He works at the Veterans Center of North Texas. He is a wonderful resource for many of us and many of our friends. He's here local, and with that, I'll hand over to Paul. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, well, good evening, ladies. You know, this an honor to be with you tonight. I enjoy speaking. Some of you may know that. I know quite a few of the folks here and quite a few Fairview people here too, so that's where I live. So we haven't had a meeting in a year plus. I zoomed out. Okay.
Zoomed out.
Steve, would you pass those? So I was asked if I'd come speak tonight. I didn't realize that it was going to be a face-to-face meeting, number one. Number two, I didn't realize that this was your first meeting. So I am really honored that you'll, like, you know, something about rebirth and revitalization. This is a very meaningful topic for me, or event for me. So you're going to get to know me here. I need one of those back. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah. Can I have one of those, please? So who am I? I'm going to tell you who we are, who I am, and what we do, and so on. So here in a few minutes, you all will know who I am and what's going on with me here. So my name is Paul Hendricks, and I'm with the Veterans Center of North Texas. I'm the executive director and founder and president of the board of our organization, and you'll know a lot about that here in just a little bit. And I'm hoping that for those of you that are visiting, oh, I'm sorry. No, you've been on here. For those of you that are visiting that belong to other chapters and other organizations, I would really love to be your guest and speak at any of your meetings, day or night, any day of the week. That's something I enjoy doing. And you'll know why here in just a minute. So let me turn. Normally I would have a projection going here so you can kind of see what's going on here. I wasn't sure what the projection system is going to be about. So on the first page here, you'll see that my wife and I are both originally from the San Diego area. That's where we grew up. And I went to school there, got drafted into the Army, went into the Air Force. But none of those were my choice of things to do. I had a career in my mind mapped out, but you know, Vietnam kind of got in the way. So it happened to me. I was in the Air Force for 20 years and retired, and then went to work for Rockwall, then Boeing. They got bought out by each other for another 21 years. And now, so I retired from Boeing, and for the last 10 years, I've been a volunteer. That's what I do. I'm a professional volunteer for things I like doing. So if y'all really, seriously, like to speak for something, or don't ask me to tell jokes, I'm horrible with that. So sometimes people will ask the question, well, what did I do in the Air Force? Well, there's a good lot of it that is classified, and I couldn't talk about it. But you'll see on the bottom of this page number 2 here, my first job in the Air Force was to fly B-52 bombers, B-52Ds, and big old clumsy airplane. These particular bombers, the B model, is now beer cans someplace. They're all gone. So there's still B-52s flying, but not this version. We wore them out in Vietnam. And on the next page, you'll see pictures of the airplane dropping bombs. That's what I did in Vietnam. And we did a lot of that activity there. And some of you might remember at the end of the Vietnam War, that's when I came in to the program. There was some bombing over North Vietnam. Are there any Vietnam veterans in this room? There you go. So you might have remembered the end of the war type thing. That was me. I got to fly over Illinois and do those sorts of things. So that was kind of my claim to fame. And then I did some stuff after that. And at the end of my career, I was on the development team for the B-1B bomber, who has been believe it or not, they're retiring that airplane. So I brought it in, and now we came in the inventory in 1985. So although it seems like a new airplane, it's 35 years old or more. So things just get worn out, and our Middle East wars have just worn out a lot of our equipment. So I guess I'm proud to say I've done that, and it's behind me. And then, of course, I went to work for the Boeing company, and the rest of that is sort of history. So that's me in a nutshell. My wife and I live in Fairview. I'm a full-time volunteer at the organization Veterans Center of North Texas. I'm the state president of the Air Force Association. So if any of you are wanting to know about the Air Force Association, or you're a member of the Air Force Association, you haven't been to any of those meetings, I would love to talk with you. So and let's say here, Ralph was talking earlier. I've been on the town council in Fairview. I'm on the zoning commission here in 8 Iron Rotary, right? You still on Rotary? Haven't seen you in a while. Yes. Have an L and Sunrise. So let's start out with 2 stories. I've never done this before. I was thinking about it on the way up here. What can I do to grab your attention? And what is the Veterans Center all about? You're going to know quite a bit about it here in just a minute. 2 stories. So our organization, we put our 501c3 nonprofit organization together. Started out in late 2013. We got approved by the IRS in June of 2014. So it's just about 7 years next month. And of course, that was a big moment for us. We felt like we were kind of arrived, if you will. We opened up a business doors. We rent from the Collin County, down there in Plano is where we're located, because it's the cheapest rent that's available. As we don't generate revenue, that's becomes important. So here we are in the first year of our operation, 2014. We close the last 2 weeks of the year. We celebrate Christmas. So we've had our Christmas party. We're getting ready to. This is a true story, by the way, and it's one of those days when it's cold, it's raining. You know those days. And so we're talking about, okay, we're going to close down what we do for Christmas. Here comes some young guy up at our door. What are we going to do here? And he's got a shirt on, and it's cold outside. And so we talked to the guy for a while and say, what can I do for you, and so on. And he said, well, my wife and I and our baby are living in the car. Well, we can't have that, especially at Christmas time, right? And it was one of those 35-degree days. So where's your wife? Where's that baby? Well, they're in the car. Well, come on in. They couldn't come in. I said, yeah, they can, right here. So this gal comes in. These are young people. And she's got on a T-shirt. And one of the guys says, well, where's your coat? Oh, I don't have a coat. So he takes off his coat and says, this is your coat now. And here's this little baby, 6 months old or something. And so one thing led to another, and again, this was our last work day of the year. So what are we going to do? We got in our wallets and said, we got to get you a place to stay. So we went down to Motel 6 and went in our room for the 2 weeks for Christmas. And so some of the guys told their families about it. They took over a bunch of little Christmas items for the family, the guy and the baby, and food. So after Christmas, we went over there. I wanted to go over and see them and see how they're doing and see if there's anything to do to kind of prepare them for it. This guy was a veteran. I didn't mention that. So I said, how are you doing on the food? Well, we sold it. Oh. We sold it. Well, how'd you like the Christmas items that the families brought over here? We sold it. So what do you mean you sold it? How can this be? I told him outside, he says, my wife's addicted to something, and we need that money to buy the drugs. I said, this is horrible. This is just absolutely horrible. So we were a young group. We didn't know what to do. The next thing we do, we've got to get somebody that knows what they're doing and give them the right attention, we did, and try to push them off to people that are trained to handle these situations. So that's one end of the spectrum. They got divorced. Eventually, we did follow them. We did help them quite a bit. We get them into drug rehab. Actually, both. One was on marijuana, the other was on methamphetamines. You know, young people do these crazy things. That's their life. But what's not their life is that little child. We just are very concerned about what's going to happen. Well, they got divorced and we lost track of them after a while. That's one end of the spectrum. That's the young end of the spectrum. Another true story. And every time I tell this, it's just impossible for you to recognize it. We got a call. This lady calls and says, my husband's died. So one of my volunteers says, this lady's husband died. What should we do? Well, you know, these things happen. It's not too unusual. So I asked the lady, said, so what's going on here? Where is your husband's body? He's in the mortuary. And so why are you calling us? Well, the funeral director says, if you don't get him out of here by Friday, this was like maybe Wednesday, we're going to get rid of him. I said, what? What does that mean? What does that mean? That can't be true. So I said, this is like Wednesday. He said, I want you in our office, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, we open up on Thursday. Let's bring your family, let's talk about it, because they had no money, of course. And they explained the situation. And I don't know what the funeral director was thinking. Got the name of the funeral director and called, and we had a little one-way conversation. But, you know, this guy's a veteran. This guy's a veteran. We don't treat anybody, especially our veterans, in the families like this. I don't know what you say or else. There is no or else, right? This man has passed away. He's got a family here. So turns out we were able to get, believe it or not, a scratch and dent coffin donated to us. I never even heard of such a thing. But, after the conversation with the funeral director, he had this idea we needed to do something to kind of get back on a good side. He said, well, we got a coffin we can give you. It's got some scratches and dents on it. So God us and care. And so we got an agreement that they would do the normal things you do to prepare a person to be buried. We got them lined up in the DFW cemetery. They were there. Had a wait to turn. So the family went off. There was a little bit of money they had to pay for it, but they got him buried. So that's the other means. So what do we do? All the way from young people, I'm going to call that post-death. We've done everything in between. So we're the Veterans Center in North Texas, and for veterans and their families, there's nothing that I know of that we haven't seen. We never knew we were going to be social workers. We never knew we were going to be, that's what we're doing. It's just unbelievable. You know, we human beings can really kind of get in predicaments, right? You all have seen things, maybe involved things that help us out. It just does. So I'm going to go through my presentation here. Is that interesting to you all? Yeah. That was interesting to me every time I tell it. So, but those are two ends of the spectrum. And again, we've seen, we've been in business for almost 7 years. We've served over 5,000 veterans. Just in a variety of ways. Unbelievable. So we're the Veterans Center of North Texas. We're a 501c3 organization. And as I mentioned, we became certified as a 501c3 in June of 2014. So we're in our 7th year. We're what's called an information, referral, and crisis intervention center. So if a veteran or the family member comes to us and says, where's the VFW? Where's the American Legion? Where's the VA? That's the information. Or they say, I need to get connected to some organization in the community. How do I do that? We'll help them get connected. That's kind of part of the referral process. And then we have what's called crisis intervention. And the crisis intervention are some of the things I'm talking about. We put our hands on the situation. We're a hands-on organization. We do not do events, although Tom, I might help you do an event. But we're not, there's a lot of veterans groups out there that'll have what's called stand downs or giveaway programs. And, you know, they kind of help out and build morale. That's good. But what we do is we help people up. We are a help up organization. So what we do in particular is when a veteran and their family meets with us, the first thing we do is try to identify that they're veterans. Because not everybody really is a veteran, they might like some assistance, but, so we go through a pretty detailed intake process, verify they're a veteran, where do they live, we're grant funded, so that's very important, and what are their needs. So they all come in with a need, no one hardly ever comes in just to say hello. A few people do, they like to come in and say, yeah, I got this war story I'd like to tell you. Yeah. I can tell you some stories too. So we have a cup of coffee and tell those stories. But the majority of the time, people come in and say, I got a phone, I can't pay my water bill. Well, how far along are you? Well, it was turned off yesterday. And you know, when the water's turned off, the electricity's turned off, or the car is going to get repossessed tomorrow, those are problems. Those are real problems. In the summertime, we think the number one emergency is the electricity's turned off. It is hotter than blazes here, right? And when you don't have electricity, it's turned off. Now, whose fault is that? Will be the person. But not everybody has the wherewithal or whatever it takes to pay their bills. So the question we would ask is, okay, we understand your electricity is turned off. I get one of my volunteers, let's find out their account number, let's call TXU or whoever it is, and we're going to get that electricity turned on probably before they do. That's going to happen because we just can't let someone live like that. But then we sit down and we do a detailed. We want to understand what's causing the problem. Why can't you pay your bills? And there's 1.5 million reasons why people can't pay their bills. Believe it or not, sometimes people don't have much money to live on at all. If the car breaks down, they got to sacrifice paying the electric bill to get the car fixed and so on. One of the children they had to go to the dentist or something, and so they trade that back and forth. So there's a lot of reasons. You said, well, why did they just go to credit card or savings account? All these people don't have. A lot of people do have credit cards, but they're maxed out. They're maxed out. They may have a whole handful of credit cards that they're paying 28% interest on, and they're maxed out. So, you know, that's another problem for another day. So we'll find out what's going on. Drug and alcohol is a big deal in our community. Those of you in the law enforcement know that. Drug and alcohol is a big deal. It's an expensive deal. It's not inclusive of veterans by a long shot. There's marital issues, child custody issues, and just a whole bunch of things. Medical issues. We have a tremendous amount of senior citizens that we support. Now, when we started this program, we thought we were going to be dealing primarily with post 9/11 veterans. That would have been 18 to 35 years old. Today, the average age of the veteran we serve is age 57. We had no idea we were going to be dealing with that group of people. So we have some World War II people that come in and get consultation on in their life type things. We have some Korean veterans, not many, but some. Are there any Korean veterans in the budget? You just don't see many of them in the community. That's that war that we had that most people can't remember. And then we see a ton of Vietnam veterans. People that are trying to live on $800 or $1,000 a month with Social Security. And we say, well, where is your savings? Yeah, you know, I never really had a decent job. And every bit of money we had, we spend it and da-da-da-da. But we thought we were going to get Social Security. You got it. But you can't live on $800 to $1,000 a month. It doesn't work. The cost of living, the living wage here in Collin County, does anybody have an idea what it is? Pardon me?
No, I said, oh my goodness, I don't.
Well, you're right in the ballpark. It's $27.50 an hour, which is $54,000. they wish they had. Help them get rid of those credit card bills and, you know, the things that we don't want to think about. So that's what we do with our area. On this slide right here shows the types of services we provide. So it's a variety of things. If you name it, if you can think of it, it's probably characterized here. Our number one issue is housing. Housing here in Collin County, as you all know, is hard to get. Affordable housing is really expensive. In this morning's paper, it talks about the cost to buy a house and live here. It's getting worse. We talked about, you know, the prices of our houses are going up. Doesn't do any good unless you can sell it, then where are you going to go? So I don't know. So that's what we do. If you see my pyramid, it's our pyramid need. This pyramid was built with over 5,000 cases. Shelters are number one, immediate need assistance, meaning helping pay bills is number two, financial management, which is a foundation, and getting the right job. We put a lot of people in jobs. Matter of fact, if y'all have jobs in places you work and you'd like to hire a veteran, if you'd like to know about it, maybe we can help you place a veteran. In my second to last slide is why do we do this? We're all volunteers. There's nobody in our organization who gets paid. I'm at our organization 40 to 50 hours a week. I've got two other officers that work with me. They're doing the same thing. I have volunteers. All our officers are unpaid also. I have volunteers that volunteer with us 4 hours once a week. So if you'd like to come down and get on the schedule, we'll train you and work for 4 hours once a week, we would love to have you. It'd probably be one of the best things you can do. You'll find when you're helping another human being, it's very, very, very rewarding. So we do it for the joy of helping people, just like you all are having joyous occasions here. When someone leaves our office, they've got a check in hand, not made out to them, but to the landlord, the utility company, to the car repair place. They're walking out there saying, man, I did something. We know we did something too, and that's helping out. That's really great. So what we're going to try to do is, in all cases, help our veterans become sustainable in their futures. I told you about holding the hand. We don't let go of it for at least 6 months. We're going to, how you doing? How you doing? Call, repeated call, come back and see us again. Hey, do you have that job yet? No, I didn't like it. Well, let's talk about it again. So when they become stable, and their idea of stability is not everybody's idea. There's different social economic statuses in our community, right? We're not trying to bring them up to here. We're just trying to get them stabilized and wherever they are in our community. So that we do it because we want to do it. Again, we've served over 5,000 veterans. A lot of people say you can't operate an organization as volunteers. We said we can. So my very last slide, some of y'all have seen my presentations before, right? My very last slide hasn't changed. The number one concern I have is serving veterans. So if you are a veteran, or if you know a veteran, we'd like to meet you.
And you just focus your services on veterans from Collin County or all over the metro area?
Good question, Pete. So we serve 10 counties. Collin, so think about where we're going now. Collin, Grayson, Cook, Hunt, Fannin, Rockwall, Kaufman, Dallas, Tarrant, and Denton. So kind of that region there. There's 300,000 veterans according to the VA that live in this area. We won't see all of them, but we're going to see some of them. We also serve people, for some reason, a bunch of people in Austin call us to get them connected to resources down there. We serve people in New York, Missouri, California, and Arizona, and Washington State.
So you have a website?
We do have a website, www.vcont.org. And we'd like to have you take a look at it. First priority is serving veterans. Second priority is serving them with volunteers, so if you'd like to do that. And third priority is serving veterans with our community connections. If you would like to be a partner with us, we'll refer veterans back and forth. And we're building that umbrella so we can tie our support for our veterans together. So that's me, that's our organization, and I've answered any of your questions.
Where does the funding come from?
Grants. We are grant funded. So we apply for grants quite frequently. We just got renewed for a Texas Veterans Commission grant, which is fairly substantial. 100% of that money comes in and goes out. We don't keep it. It doesn't do us any good. So that's our primary source. We do get some McKinney funding. There's a McKinney grant that we have, a Driscoll grant we have, and a Plano grant we have for cities. We do get some We applied for some other smaller grants, but we're all grant funded. We do have, I don't want to lead you straight, we have a golf tournament. And that's what pays the rent, by the way. Golf tournament pays rent. Our golf tournament was postponed. It was supposed to be last month sometime. We got rained out. The golf tournament's going to be on the 18th of June. We're sold out, so I'm not trying to sell you anything. But if you'd like to come out and volunteer, just see a bunch of guys and gals having a good time, we'd love to have you at Heritage Ranch. Other questions? It's an honor to be with you this evening. Sir, would you have a question? No?
Well, I was just thinking, you were the seventh bomb wing, was it?
Yeah, how'd you know that?
Oh, I'm pretty smart.
Well, you're clairvoyant, aren't you?
But, I was in COIC, sort of safety one. 301st, back last one.
When were you there?
Oh, about 74 to 89, I transferred to Luke.
Okay. Well, so how did you, is that on the bomber? Picture of the bombers, I would say 7 bomber.
What's on bombs?
I don't know how you knew that. How did you know? Yeah. So I was stationed at,
Well, because you have here,
oh,
on your slide,
oh, Carswell, there you go.
yeah, Carswell, FD.
So I was stationed
So
at,
you had to be that 7 bomber.
yeah, so I was at, West Harbor Air Force Base in Massachusetts. It closed down. I moved to Carswell, flew out of there for a while, and then I went on to other things. We love that part of Fort Worth. That's great area. Great intel guy. Any other questions for me? Again, it's an honor to be with you tonight. I briefed several Sons of the American Revolution and Daughters of the American Revolution. There's a group down in Allen that I brief periodically, and it's great organizations to do. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All we got is a certificate of appreciation for all that you do for everyone here, for our veterans. And
Well, thank you.
so much.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Together, smiling, smiling. Got it.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mark. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, I went ahead and worked this in because I didn't know what your schedule was. We just got, you're welcome to stay. I just wanted to, just a few more business things here. Okay, so the next thing really that we were doing on the business was we need to talk about the minutes. The minutes are on the website. So do I hear a motion? I'm sure y'all have taken a look at it, right? We got it in early, and David's got the motion to accept those minutes. So David, and who was the second? Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Okay, so all those in favor?
Any discussion?
Oh, keep me straight. It's your job, remember? Okay, yeah, any discussion on those minutes?
Hearing none.
Let's see, what's that next say? Oh, yeah, hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Okay, so the other one is the treasurer's report. Ralph, could you provide us with your treasurer's report?
Okay. The bank balance as of April's report was $2,647.25. On April 30th, we received a direct deposit from Benevity Causes in the amount of $75. Also on April the 30th, we received direct deposits from the Texas Society of Sons of the American Revolution totaling $1,265.50 for our 2021 membership dues. Then on May the 14th, we received a $20 cash donation from Tom Nelson. Brings our current balance in the bank account to $4,010.75. Wow, that's the report.
Okay, thank you, Ralph.
You need a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
You're good at this. Yes. Do I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report as written?
So moved.
Okay, Pete, who was second? I just gotta look over you. Okay, okay. Okay, Joe, thank you, Joe. Okay, any discussion? Thanks. Hearing none. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? No? Nay? Okay, great. So that's good. So let's see here. We have several dignitaries here. Ted, you have any comments or anything you'd like to provide to the chapter? Ted is our district vice president.
And these are all coming from the vice president side.
Okay, great.
All right. Since we had a veterans talk, do I have any veterans in here who have not gotten the SAR medal for military service? Okay. If you haven't, you get with your president.
Yeah, we'll fix it.
He'll fix it. Okay. You asked me about joining McKinney in the July the 4th parade.
Yes.
Edmund Terrell will join you.
Okay, good.
Just get the information to us.
Yeah, so to the people who don't know this, we talked about at our executive committee meeting that basically Ted had asked the chapters to say what was going on in the various areas, their various areas, and McKinney has a parade on the 3rd of July for an hour. I think it's 10 to 11, and they go sort of around the square there, okay? And I think you're probably going to pull a trailer again. This road is going to pull a trailer. So I suggested that we might want to try to do something like that. So we're looking for people to volunteer to be in the parade. You can wear your uniforms if you have them, period uniforms if you have them, and you get points for that. But you can also, you don't have to wear it, you can just walk along with us, and basically we'd like to have a reasonable showing. So with that, I think we will get that paperwork taken care of and paid for, so we're in the, basically on the roster for the parade, and then we'll work on that some more before July the 3rd.
Okay. And besides that, I have a whole sheet of upcoming events from now to the end of the year. And I'll leave these with you. There is a November the 6th date on here with question marks. I want to do something for the veterans in Frisco.
Okay.
And I need McKinney chapter to join me.
Okay.
I'm using all my chapters in my district.
Okay.
So I will contact those people and
So
get
the
the ball.
event is TBD as to what we're going to do, right?
Right. My idea is they have a place over there called the Frisco Common,
Okay.
which is their Veterans Park.
Okay.
There are flagpoles around.
Okay.
I would like to have a flag for each of the branches of service to raise.
Okay.
And obviously a band. And at the end, we will, go half-mast to recognize everybody that's not with us.
Okay.
I would like to have a speaker.
Okay.
I would really like to have a Medal of Honor speaker. I don't know if I can get one.
Okay.
But we do have a parade coming up in September
Right.
with Medal of Honor recipients.
Okay.
So I will be working them, seeing what I can come up with. So that is something on the future.
Okay.
Also, we need mentors. You got
Right.
1, 2, maybe 3 new members coming in.
Right.
Anybody want to be a mentor? I have paperwork here, very simple. Part of it is you introduce them. You bring them to the meals. You call them, find out how they're doing. You help them get into the websites. That's a very simple job. And let's see. Now, Tom here, he's facing things like me. This is a yearly report that we must fill out. There are things on here that if you don't give us the answers, we don't know. One of the things that I've noticed that we are missing is y'all go to funerals. If you go to a funeral of a veteran, you tell Tom, let him know, because that goes on here. If you go to an SAR, you let us know. If you participate, you say so. We need to know all of that because that is points that goes into the chapter. And he needs to know it. And let's see, what else do we have on our list? Okay. Those are pretty well it. As up in the Edmonton chapter, we decided, we're kind of putting it out. Anybody who would like to be a registrar apprentice, we would be glad to put you in that class because we have the registrars and they will teach you how to do that job, show you the ins and the outs and what they discovered and what problems you're going to run across.
Good.
So if any of y'all are interested in being a registrar, you let us know. We'll be glad to put you in there. And I guess about the last thing is, you need uniforms. Color guard. This I will leave with you. This is one of the companies out there that you can purchase out of. I have several sheets here of websites. So these are the websites where you can go look, see what they have. You can compare prices, but they are out there. And anything else, anybody got any questions, want to know about the district or what's coming up? I can tell you we got the, in July the 7th through the 15th, we have national in the state of Washington. First weekend in August, we will have a mini BOM. It'll probably be on soon.
Here, Richards.
No. In Richardson will be the South Central District, which the South Central is Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, what's another state? Kansas. Those 5 states, they get together, they talk about their problems with each other. And they have problems just like we have. So
That's also a national level meeting.
right, it is national level. And we also have the new people that want to run for the offices of the national. They come in and they give their little speech. It's like, we want your vote.
Right.
So. And let's see. And I encourage, if y'all haven't filled out this form, go online, get it, fill it out, give it to Tom. This is just general information about you. It tells us what you are interested in, how we can help you, and it gives us a family history on your ancestor. So,
And it's in all the new member packages for the 2 that it's in the mail. To me.
Had a question on that questionnaire, point of contact that it has on the national or on the state website is it goes back to Don Anderson,
Right.
the state historian.
Yeah.
What we really wanted to do is to go to the chapter level to the president, so you can see locally what that person's interested in.
Yeah,
So that might be something, if you're pulling it off of the
that's
state
right.
website, kind of disregard who to email it to, but send it back to your chapter president.
He doesn't get enough emails.
Well, I know. That's, he's talking about this right here.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So that pile is mine, right? To share with some of it.
Some of it.
Okay.
I don't think you want my yellow piece of paper.
Oh, well,
Maybe you could post some of that on your
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
We'll work through
Yeah,
that.
it'll just post it on the website.
Okay.
So I think that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Ted. Let's see here. Tom, do you have any comments at your vice president level?
District 6 is working hard to catch up with District 11 and Dallas and Plano and Eastward Tree is working hard to catch up with you guys. So, you know, that's why we're
Great.
here. We're just, you know, copy the best and steal from the rest.
So that's sort of the truth. See, so we've got a deal. He comes to my meetings, I come to his. We see who the presenters are, we spread things out, you know.
No coach. He's the guy that said, if I didn't join your chapter, he wouldn't join mine.
Well, you know, there's a little bit of.
Tarrant, is District 6 gonna have a meeting this year?
We are, as a matter of fact.
You know when?
No. I'm running into a problem right now where every time I put out a note to 3 chapters in the district about when I'd like to have a meeting, I've got somebody that's gone. Because we got into, you know, the summer.
Right.
So we're working on trying to find anything, and even if we do it like the Tarrant or like 11 did, and we do it in an evening, we're trying to do it the weekend, but I can't do it, so we're gonna have to do it for the weekend. But it's gonna be soon, it'll be a couple hours. And yes, I will absolutely let everybody know.
Okay, great. Okay, let's see, David, our state treasurer, do you have any comments for the group?
We've been through a reconciliation with national as far as looking at state dues. I think McKinney, we're only missing 3 guys who haven't paid. Yeah, does that sound about right?
I think that's right, other than
Somewhere in that ballpark.
the ones are somewhere else,
If you
yeah.
have not paid your dues, regardless of which chapter you're in the state of Texas, if you have not paid them, we need those paid now, because come August 1st, we're pretty much starting to shut down the books for the year 2021. So then shortly after that, we'll be sending out due statements for 2022. So I'd like to get that done, also because that also slows down your chapters getting the dues. As you heard our treasury report tonight, the dues for 2021 were sent, now a significant amount, and a lot of the other chapters, I think, is testified the same. We do have some application fees, we're trying to get those done sent, probably by next week. But several of you will get some of that also.
Okay,
And I think that's all I have for the treasurer's side. Don't forget, that, like you said, the South Central District, I'm sending the hotel deposit check now, so we can secure the hotel there in Richardson. That's being taken care of.
okay.
I'm using your money, Tom.
Oh, thanks.
I don't have any. One of the other things, I mean, like Ted mentioned, color guard. I know, Dr. Bill, you've expressed an interest in it, so we'd like to, get you outfitted in. My dad had a drum. He's
Oh, yeah.
92, and he's not using it anymore, so I need somebody who knows how to play the drum.
Who in here knows how to play the drum? Not drums, just drum.
Just a drum.
2 sticks is all you gotta coordinate. No one is a drummer?
It's not that hard, not that
I mean, it's just.
Yeah, but he still has a drum, I think. The state had 2 drums, and I think he has one. I don't know, because we were missing a drum in the state inventory. So this one's not going into the state, this is gonna stay in the chapter. And then just the VP, so he showed you this magazine, right? So I'm gonna say I got another one too, so there.
Which one is that one, the one you pointed?
Well, this is the Townsend one I think he had, which was, his is a different Townsend.
Oh.
We have different covers.
Man.
This one's Samson,
Samson store.
which they got some good stuff. And then, like you said, there's a list of all the other things.
we can work through that, Bob, you know, get you all set up. This one came from Godwin out of Valley Forge area, which is what, now, one of the things, if you think you're gonna be firing a musket, it has to be wool. The polyester will not work. What? Cotton, okay.
Cotton or wool.
Cotton or wool, you're right. It cannot be the polyester. You will see guys wearing polyester, they cannot fire a firearm. So if you're interested in doing that down the road, think about that, you know, and this does get hot. Don't worry. Only wear it in the wintertime, that's right. Okay, let's see, I think that was all I had for me.
Okay, great.
All right, good enough.
One other thing I
Yes.
forgot.
Okay.
Texas is working on a special honor guard. This will be guys who will go to funerals, special occasions. As far as I know, they are possibly going to dress everybody alike. And they are going to be training you to march and how to carry the weapon. They're going to train us to do the whole 9 yards. So that is something that is working on very hard.
Cool.
Yeah, I think Bob Coogan's gonna be trying to do it, but he's got, Bill Sickles gonna be training us, right? First Sergeant Marine Corps, so you better straighten up.
So I might mention, some of y'all may not know this, but there's a great opportunity here to fire black powder muskets, you know, and I mean, the flames go everywhere and out the barrel, and it looks like a lot of fun. So anybody want to think about that, because it is sort of a cool thing. I have some cool pictures I can show you of that. So anybody ever have the desire to want to do that, you know, these guys can work you right through it all, right? And we'll get to do that for various events. So, okay, let's see, have I missed anyone relative to, okay, relative to our, basically, any of our state officers? Don't think we have a national one here, so I think I'm good there. Okay, go ahead.
Just wanted to let everybody know that I've been asked to serve as a member of the McKinney Armed Services Memorial Board. And we're having a memorial presentation coming up on May 29th at the McKinney Memorial located over by Craig Range. So if anybody's interested in attending that program, it's going to be very interesting. A lot of good speakers are going to be there. And it starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday, May 23rd.
Can you send me a little something on that, and I'll send it out to all the chapter members. We'll see what sort of interest we have in that. Let's see here. What else is left here? I think. Getting about that time, isn't it? Okay, so let's see here. So I'm just trying to think. Seemed like there was one other thing I needed to tell you guys about, but I don't. It's not coming to me, and it won't till after he says the prayer.
Hearing none.
Oh, do you have any program for next month, Diane?
Not yet. We're getting close.
Okay. Is it who I think it might be?
The person in Arlington is one you recommended.
Okay, you're still working on that?
Yes,
Okay. So basically, it's a lady, this isn't tied down, but just sort of a teaser. So you can, basically, you know, there's going to be a Medal of Honor museum is being built in Arlington. Okay, big deal, guys. Okay, but the big deals, there's also things that come with that, which Ted will tell you. One of those things, of course, is they're interested in people to come interact, like color guards, et cetera, like that. So, you know, we're looking for more color guard people here in the area that can rotate through and do that. So the lady that's coming, I've already heard her presentation. I think it's one of those, yeah, I stole from somebody else for ours. But anyway, hoping to get her to come talk to us about the progress, what they're going to do, what it's going to look like. Again, from what I have seen and heard, it's going to be extremely impressive, which it should be, of course. And it's right over there where all the sports venues are and everything. I mean, it's just right there. So it's going to get a lot of traffic coming through because of people who come to the sports venues. So I think it's going to be very worthwhile. So no pressure on you or anything, Mark, but see what you can do. And if we had to, we could see if we could try it. Might tie her in and be a Zoom type thing. If we had to, she doesn't want to come over, but we would like to get that done pretty soon. Anything else? Worn you out, eh? You've worn me out too. Okay, Chaplain Babs, over to you.
That's great. Father, we ask that you grant to us tonight your blessings. We thank you, Lord, for what you did for us. We thank you for everything that you do for us. And now, Father, we'd ask that you would be with us and give us your blessings throughout the remainder of this evening. Protect each and every one of us. Take us home safely and be with us throughout the night. In your name we do ask, amen.
Amen. Okay, if you'll join me in your program here in the recessional. Until we meet again, let us remember our obligations to our forefathers who gave us our Constitution, Bill of Rights, an independent Supreme Court, and a nation of free men. Okay, with that, I'll call the meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Oh, by the way, if any of you need to talk to our registrar, he came in late, he's trying to get me out. Clayton's right there today. If you need to talk to him, he's the guy. Thank you, sir.